Welcome back to Judy's Cuisine Corner. Now today I have the perfect find because one of my favorite things in the world to eat is a great steak. Now while we know that you can go to Fleming's Prime Steakhouse and Wine Bar for those perfect prime steaks and a fantastic variety of side dishes, you may want to stay home and make the perfect steak. Well, I have the perfect person to teach us more about it. This is Russell Skall, and he is the executive corporate chef.
That's correct, Judy.
All the Flemings in the whole world.
We have 54 now.
That's incredible, with more and more growing, and we are so thrilled. You have been the superstars in Sarasota since you opened.
Yeah, they've done a good. Patrick's done a great job. Patrick and Dan down here.
We're really excited. In a little while, you're going to get to meet the new chef partner, Charlie. So we'll introduce him. But right now, Russell, teach people that are watching this show. The majority of our viewers really love cuisine, and they like good quality cuisine. But sometimes it's what we see as the simplest things aren't always the easiest things to do.
You're right, and they want to cook at home. They always can't come to a Fleming's and dine out, so they want to be able to create that same dinner they get at a Fleming's Steakhouse and do it at home. First thing would be buying the correct type of beef that they want to have. The most popular steak, do you know what it is?
Well, I'm going to say a ribeye, but
Yeah,
I would
and that's
assume
mine
the
as well.
filet mignon.
The filet mignon, and I believe the filet mignon because it doesn't have as much fat, so women like that, and it's very easy to cook. And the most flavorful steak I have here then is the ribeye. As you said, has the most amount of marbling. Now, you can buy these as pre-cut steaks, but if you want to save a little bit of money, you can also buy the whole tenderloin, and perhaps another time we could do another segment on how to cut that tenderloin up, because it's a great cost savings for you.
I'd love that, because I think that is really important. And again, people do want the cost savings. Gas is going up, everything seems to be going up, and especially if you're entertaining and you want to make filet mignon at home for a large group, you're going to save more than just pennies.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Now, with these cuts, you want to get those cuts, what they call the luxury cuts. These are steaks that you can cook and eat right away, and they're very tender. Okay. Now, there's 4 of those cuts. That's your tenderloin, your ribeye, your both ribeye bone-in or not, your New York strip, and then your short loin. And your short loin is that porterhouse steak.
Oh, which is, you know what? I said the ribeye's my favorite, but to be really honest, the creme de la creme to me is a big fat porterhouse steak.
Yeah, because you like to have both the tenderloin and that strip on there. So those are the steaks that you can get in your market, and they're easily cut, or you can buy the whole loin and you cut those. Now, the other one, the bone-in steaks, you got to find your favorite butcher to have them cut those up for you, because you can't cut those at home.
Right, and nowadays I notice even in the grocery stores that you can have butcher service available.
In a lot of the
markets. Course, you know, in so many of your hometowns, just seek out a great butcher. Some of these people have been in the business for 40 or 50 years. They know what they're doing.
All right, so now you have your steaks. The next thing you need to do is to season your steak. Now, again, if you have a top quality steak, you don't need to marinate it unless you want to.
Okay. So it's okay.
Sure it is, sure it is. But simply, if you want if you have a great steak, a nice, especially prime beef like this, we do a nice kosher salt and coarse black pepper blend. Now, what does that do? Well, kosher salt is a cleaner salt, so you like that. You can use any one of the sea salts. But coarse black pepper, it helps put that nice crust on the steak. When you have a peppercorn steak, that tastes so good, but the coarse black pepper is not as strong, not as potent, so it helps put that light crust when you get on the grill and you sear your steak. So lightly season your steak, and you want to do it on both sides. Make sure you cover the whole steak. Okay, very important. Now, you also want to allow your steak to set out probably 15-20 minutes prior to cooking. Let that muscle, that meat rest a little bit. If you put it on there too quickly and it's too cold, it may be harder to judge the doneness on that when the steak is done cooked.
Okay, great. That's a fantastic tip for everybody.
Now we'll go ahead and put these right on the grill. We've already preheated our grill for probably a half an hour, 20 minutes to a half an hour. Get it nice and hot. And everybody knows their own grill at home, so they know they have hot spots and cold spots. And you don't want to always cook on super high heat, but you do want to cook very quickly on one side, get that nice light char, and then you want to flip that steak over to get that other char. And what that does, it seals in and locks in all the juices inside that steak.
And Russell, I noticed that you're cooking with tongs. You know, put away those forks, right? That's just going to pierce the meat and the blood will run out.
All those juices inside are going to rush out of that steak, yes. Now, the ribeye, as you notice, the ribeye here actually is flaring up a little bit more than the tenderloin. And I kept the tenderloin close to ribeye because I want to get more of that fat flavor in there to get that char. Okay. If you didn't have a ribeye, you can wrap your filet in bacon. Or just ask the butcher for some extra fat that he has laying around that from the other steaks that you can lay next to the meat. It'll get that char going and get the nice flavor on your steak. Now, again, I talked about cooking the steak. We're going to make sure you get a nice char that's not ready yet. But probably take 3 to 4 minutes on that one side, and then you want to flip it over. Now, total cooking time, as you look at the thickness on these steaks, your fillets are generally going to be taller, that 1.5 to 2 inches tall. Your ribeyes and your strips about 1 inch thick, and that's where you want to be. Any less than that, it's really hard to get a nice char and medium rare temperature.